Hey there, lovely soul. Welcome back to Noah's Stories. Have you ever wondered how a single act of kindness could change someone's entire world? Today's story is a gentle reminder that love often finds us when we least expect it sometimes, through the hands of a stranger. Let's begin. The late afternoon sun stretched lazily across the rusty rooftops of a quiet suburban neighborhood. A soft breeze carried the gentle scent of freshly baked pastries from a small kitchen tucked behind a worn-out wooden house. Inside, Maya, a woman with kind eyes and a heart shaped by quiet sorrow, was carefully placing warm pastries into a woven basket. Outside, Eli, a cheerful 5-year-old boy, was playing with pebbles in the yard. Every few seconds, he'd shout, "Mom, are you done yet?" Few knew that Eli wasn't her biological son, but her nephew, the child of her younger sister who had died from a broken heart. One rainy afternoon, while Maya was packing up her stall, an elderly woman with a frail figure approached. Shivering, she asked, "Miss, could I have something to eat?" Without hesitation, Maya opened her basket and handed her a sweet potato pastry and a cup of warm tea. The old woman looked at her and smiled, her eyes filled with a strange, soothing warmth. After finishing the pastry and tea, the old woman gently wiped her mouth and smiled. "Thank you, dear. It's been a long time since someone treated me with such kindness." Maya shook her head. "I just did what anyone should. You don't have to thank me." The old woman hesitated before asking, "Do you live alone?" "No, I live with my son Eli," Maya said, nodding toward the house where the little boy was napping. "Actually, he's my nephew. His mother was my sister, but he's called me Mom since he could talk." The woman nodded thoughtfully. After a pause, she asked softly, "Would you mind if I stayed here for a few days? I have nowhere else to go." Maya blinked in surprise, but then offered a warm smile. "Of course. It's small, but it's warm. If you don't mind the space, you're welcome." "You're truly kind. My name is Gloria." "I'm Maya." They shook hands, as if something sacred had just passed between them. A week later, Gloria said, "Maya, I want to take you and little Eli to my real home." "You have a home?" Maya asked, shocked. "I left because I was furious with my ungrateful grandson. But now I want to return, and I want you and Eli to come with me." Moments later, a luxurious car pulled up outside Maya's house. Eli's eyes widened. "Mom, that car's so cool." On the way to the mansion, Gloria said, "I want to buy you both new clothes. I'll also take care of Eli's school fees. Don't say no, I just want to return the kindness you gave me." Maya was touched. But the real surprise came when they arrived. The door opened to reveal a tall, striking young man with a stern expression. He frowned at them. "Who are they?" "This is Maya and Eli. They'll be living with us from now on," Gloria replied. The man rolled his eyes. "Just what I need, more problems." On their first day at the mansion, Maya immediately felt the cold, judging stares from Chase, Gloria's grandson. It was clear he wasn't thrilled about her and Eli being there. "I knew it. They're only here for the money," Chase whispered to Gloria as Maya passed by. Maya heard him clearly but didn't react. She simply bowed her head slightly, squeezed Ellie's hand tighter, and kept walking. Later, Gloria invited all three to join her for dinner. The atmosphere was icy. Eli tried to break the silence. "Uncle, your watch is really cool." Chase glanced at him, then continued eating without a word. "Chase," Gloria scolded softly. He shrugged. "Not great with kids." Maya set her fork down. "If our presence is a bother, I can work in exchange for our stay. I didn't come here to freeload." Chase let out a cold chuckle. "Doing what? This isn't some hotel, you know." "I know. I just don't like feeling indebted," Maya replied calmly. In the days that followed, Maya woke early, cleaned the house, did the laundry, and cooked, all without being asked. She did it willingly. Gloria was pleased, but Chase remained aloof. One morning, as Maya was dusting a statue in the hall, Chase walked past, casting her a dismissive look. "Acting all noble, huh?" he muttered. Maya sighed but said nothing, continuing her work. That afternoon in the kitchen, she discovered the blender wasn't working. As she tried to fix it, Chase walked by. "Don't touch that, you'll just break it more," he said flatly. Maya stood up, hands on her hips. "I don't mess with things I don't know how to handle. And don't talk to me like I'm some useless maid." Chase blinked, caught off guard. "You've got some attitude." "Exactly, because I know I'm not wrong." Unbeknownst to them, Gloria was nearby, listening from behind the wall. She smiled to herself. It had been a long time since anyone dared to talk to Chase like that. Day by day, Eli grew more attached to Chase. Though distant at first, Chase began helping him with homework, taking him to the park, and slowly, unintentionally, warming up to Maya, though he'd never admit it. One evening, Gloria turned to Maya and said softly, "You're the first person who's ever made him listen. Don't give up." Maya simply smiled, but her heart had already begun to stir. As time passed, the atmosphere in the house began to shift. Chase wasn't as grumpy as before. Though he still tossed out sarcastic comments, the way he looked at Maya had changed. He started noticing the little things, the quiet way she washed dishes, how she sang Eli to sleep, and the smile he once called fake now made his heart skip a beat. Eli grew more attached to Chase with each day. One morning, he ran up with a messy crayon drawing and handed it to Chase. "Uncle Chase, this is you, Mom, and me, your dad." Chase froze. "Dad?" Maya overheard and quickly stepped in. "Eli, don't call him that." "But he's like a dad. He takes me to school, plays with me, like my friends' dads." Eli pouted. Maya glanced at Chase, bracing for a bad reaction, but Chase just patted Eli's head. "Call me whatever makes you happy, little man." That evening, as Maya folded laundry in her room, Chase walked in, visibly unsure. I'm not good with kids, but with Eli, I want to be better." Maya looked up, surprised to see such honesty in his eyes. The next day was family day at Eli's school. Maya hadn't planned to go, afraid of drawing attention, but Chase had already bought matching t-shirts for all three of them. The shirts read, "Mom, Dad, Eli," in soft pastel letters. "You're coming?" Maya asked, eyes wide. "Yeah, someone has to hold his hand while he runs, right?" Chase grinned. At school, they drew stares of admiration from other parents. Eli beamed with joy. In one quiet moment, Maya watched Chase playing with Eli and felt her chest tighten in the most unfamiliar but comforting way. Amid the noise, Maya quietly wiped her tears. No one noticed, except Chase. He walked over and said gently, "Don't cry. Today's a happy day." Maya smiled faintly. "I don't even know why I'm crying. Maybe it's the first time I've seen Eli smile like that." Chase looked at her for a long moment. "You might not realize it, but you're changing everything, even me." Maya's heart pounded. She couldn't bring herself to meet his gaze. Chase tilted his head and gave a soft smile. "I think I'm starting to want to keep this picture forever." That night, Maya couldn't sleep. Her mind kept replaying the image of Chase carrying Eli after the family day race. The way he hugged the boy and said, "You're the biggest winner in Mom and Dad's hearts," made her heart ache in the best way. She stepped out to the balcony for some air, emotions still tangled inside her. To her surprise, Chase was already there, leaning quietly against the railing, eyes fixed on the starlit sky. "Can't sleep?" he asked, not turning around. "No," Maya replied softly. "You too?" "Yeah, my mind's all over the place." "About Eli, about you," he admitted, his voice low and warm. It made her chest tighten. Maya smiled faintly and took a seat beside him. They sat in silence for a while, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Eventually, Chase spoke again. "Did you know that today was the first time I felt like I truly had a family?" She turned to look at him. In the dim glow of the night, she could see the honesty in his eyes. "I used to think I wasn't cut out for kids or commitment, but Eli and you changed that." Maya looked down, heart pounding. "You make me want to be a better man, Maya. Not because I have to, but because I want to." He stood, walked over, and asked, "Can I kiss you?" She didn't answer. She simply stood and looked up at him. The kiss came soft, tentative, but filled with all the emotion they'd both held back for so long. They were no longer strangers, no longer opponents. In that moment, Maya knew she loved him. After the kiss, she rested her head on his shoulder and whispered, "Eli isn't my biological son. He's my sister's. She passed away after finding out the man she loved already had a wife and kids." Chase tightened his hold, his voice rough. "You did what few would dare. You raised him with love, like your own. I'm proud of you." Tears slipped down Maya's cheek, not from pain, but from being seen. Chase stepped back, took her hands. "Let me do the rest. Let me be a part of this family, officially." His eyes pleaded, "Marry me, Maya." She smiled through her tears and nodded. Yes. They embraced on the balcony under the quiet night sky, as if the universe itself had stopped to witness the beginning of a deep, once-in-a-lifetime love. After the proposal, Maya felt like she was dreaming. Her heart still trembled as she looked into Chase's sincere eyes. She had grown used to hardship, to being a mother on her own, but in that moment, when he gripped her hands and said, "We're already a family," every wall she had built quietly crumbled. The wedding was simple, held in the small garden behind the mansion. No extravagant flowers, no lavish banquet, just their loved ones, the soft, golden sunset, and Eli, beaming in his tiny suit, thrilled to finally share the same last name as Mom and Dad. From a distance, Gloria sat beneath an old tree, eyes misty as she watched her grandson hold the hand of the woman he once dismissed. She folded her hands together, whispering, "Thank you, God. He's finally grown up, finally learned to love beyond himself." When Maya approached and knelt to thank her, Gloria pulled her into a firm embrace. "You are the best thing that's ever happened to him. Thank you, Maya." From that day forward, life began a new chapter. Chase had truly changed. No longer the reckless boy he once was. Each morning he made Maya coffee and tied Eli's shoes. Each night he read bedtime stories, listened to school tales, and held Maya like she was his greatest treasure. Maya no longer feared love. She opened a small bakery, each pastry carrying a piece of her heart. Every afternoon when she saw Chase and Eli walk into the shop, she knew she was living the life she once only dared to dream. One evening, while they were watching cartoons, Eli whispered, "Mom, Dad, you're what I always wished for, and now I have you." Gloria stood quietly at the door, eyes glistening as she watched the three of them. At last, this family is whole. The news of Maya's pregnancy came one morning when she felt a little dizzy and nauseous. Chase immediately scooped her up, half panicked, half determined. "We're going to the hospital, no arguments." After the checkup, the doctor smiled. "Congratulations, you're 8 weeks along." Chase nearly jumped from his seat, hugging Maya tightly, his eyes wet with emotion. "We're going to have another little angel." From that moment on, Chase transformed completely. He turned down business trips, shortened his hours, and barely left Maya's side. He soothed every mood swing, tracked every craving, and even learned to cook beetroot soup just because she once said she liked the smell. As for Eli, he couldn't be more excited. Every day, he drew pictures of Mom with a big belly and talked to the baby as if she could hear him. "Hi, baby sister. I'm Eli. I'm your big brother, okay? Mom said you're a girl." The birth came earlier than expected. Maya doubled over with pain in the middle of the night. Chase scrambled around the house searching for the car keys. Gloria called the hospital, and Eli cried in fear, afraid his mom was hurting. Chase held Maya's hand the whole ride, whispering words of comfort. When the baby's first cry rang out, he broke down, covering his face with his hand, then kissed Maya's forehead again and again. "You did it. She's here." Their baby girl was named Jasmine, after Maya's favorite flower. Weeks later, the once quiet home was now filled with baby giggles, tiny cries, and happy conversations. Gloria often sat holding baby Jasmine while Eli whispered to his sister, "Don't cry, I'm your big brother now." Maya looked at the three in front of her, husband, son, and daughter, and felt her heart overflow. She once believed life had only given her loss, But sometimes, happiness arrives through something as small as giving a stranger a pastry on a rainy afternoon. Gloria sat by the window, knitting peacefully, her eyes glowing with quiet joy. Watching her grandson, once so lost, now holding a family in his arms, filled her heart with peace. "Everything's finally where it's meant to be," she whispered to herself, as if closing a chapter she'd long waited to finish. Maya rested her head on Chase's shoulder. He wrapped one arm around her, the other supporting their sleeping daughter on his chest. And softly she whispered, "Sometimes it takes a stranger's kindness to change your whole world." If this story touched you, even just a little, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who might need this warmth today, and subscribe to Noah's Stories for more heart-healing tales. We'd love to know, has someone's unexpected kindness ever changed your life? Or maybe you were that light for someone else? Let's share those stories in the comments below. This community is built on love, hope, and real moments like these. And if today's story made you smile, cry, or believe in love a little more, just wait until the next one. Until then, keep your heart open, because sometimes the smallest act of kindness can lead to the greatest kind of forever. Thank you for being here, lovely soul. See you in the next chapter.